CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.
Cameroon's Prime Minister temporarily suspends missions abroad for government officials as a third case of the COVID-19 is confirmed in the country. Details right ahead. Cameroonians are called upon to adopt mathematics as a solution to facilitate daily dealings as she joins the globe to observe the International Day of Mathematics today. The under-17 Lionesses overpower Sao Tome and Principe 6-0 during the return leg match for the 2020 FIFA World Cup at the Yaoundé Military Stadium. Highlights of the encounter in this edition. And those are top stories. Thanks for joining us on the 7:30 News. I'm Gladys Tata. The Prime Minister Head of Government, Joseph John Goute, has invited the head of different ministerial departments in Cameroon to temporarily suspend any missions abroad due to the high risk posed by the coronavirus. In a circular letter signed last March 12, the Prime Minister specifies that only missions of extreme necessity can be carried out. In the following paper, Star Building correspondent Christian Che Atam reads through the Prime Ministerial circular and underscores its relevance within the current context.
The Prime Ministerial Circular number 001 of 12 March 2020 temporarily suspends missions by heads of ministerial departments and their collaborators abroad. The circular notes that only in cases of extreme necessity shall such missions be undertaken within the current context marked by an outburst of the coronavirus on different continents. The Prime Minister in the circular stresses that the measure is meant to curtail the risk of infection by COVID-19, which was first signaled in China in December 2019, but which, due to its simple mode of transmission, has rapidly spread to other continents. The Prime Ministerial circular is therefore a preventive measure against the coronavirus, which comes to supplement other dispositions Cameroon has put in place in different airports and hospitals in towns across the country. By the move, Cameroon is joining global efforts which have already seen travel bans imposed by some countries such as the US, lockdowns in Italy and China, as well as a complete overhaul of the international sporting calendar. However, the ban on missions abroad does not mean that Cameroon is cutting herself from her diplomatic obligations on the world scene. The Prime Ministerial text affirms that more than ever before, the different ministerial departments of the country must solicit Cameroon's diplomatic representations in different countries across the globe to represent the country in all international meetings which have been programmed.
Measures put in place by government to bar the way to the deadly coronavirus are paying off. A third case of infection to the coronavirus diagnosed on a Cameroonian resident in Italy has been detected by officials of the Ministry of Public Health. He's been taken care of according to laid-down rules. Gilbert Ongene has more details in this report.
Cameroon has recorded a third case of the coronavirus. According to a tweet from the Minister of Public Health, he is a Cameroonian living in Italy who passed through Paris and arrived Cameroon on March 7. Minister Manauda Malashi has once more called for Cameroonians to redouble vigilance in the face of the COVID-19 threat on the heels of a circular from the Prime Minister outlining directives in line with measures to bar the way to the deadly virus. Cameroon's diplomatic missions abroad, like that of Congo and Germany, now require a test result for COVID-19 carried out by an approved institution before granting any entry visa request to Cameroon. Religious bodies are also involved in the effort to check the spread of coronavirus. The Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga, in a communique, has called on Christians to cooperate by abiding to health measures on the ground. As Cameroonians redouble efforts to stop coronavirus, they are expected to strictly follow the present sensitization campaign against the deadly pandemic.
As you heard in our lead story, a Cameroonian resident in Italy who is currently in Cameroon has been confirmed positive of the coronavirus, bringing the number of COVID-19 cases to 3. Cameroon's public health minister, in a tweet this Saturday, says the victim flew in from Italy on the 7th of March and was diagnosed upon arrival, thanks to measures put in place at the airport by government. Minister Manauda Malashi says the first 2 cases are responding positively to treatment. Alice Mbe has more in this report.
The Cameroonian living in Italy has been in the country for 8 days now. He's said to have passed through France before getting into the territory. The case has been transported to the isolation unit in the Yaoundé Central Hospital for treatment. He now adds to the first 2 cases who are still in the isolation unit. Health personnel say they are responding positively to treatments. The Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malashi, has called on Cameroonians to continue to respect basic hygiene rules, which include washing of hands frequently with soap and water, covering of the mouth and nostrils with paper napkins when coughing or sneezing, and to seek medical attention. The minister in a tweet said this morning that all is well on course to ensure that there isn't any outbreak of coronavirus. The situation is still under control and the toll-free number 1510 is open for any case suspected. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister head of government, Dr. Joseph Diongute, has temporarily suspended missions by head of ministerial departments and their collaborators abroad, except in case of an extreme necessity. This to prevent the risk of infection by COVID-19. Just to add to the measures Cameroon has put in place at the airports and hospitals across the territory.
And on to other news, 3 young persons from the same family have lost their lives as a result of a fire incident that occurred at about 3 a.m. in an apartment at Kakatari neighborhood in Marwa, that is in the Far North region. Another blaze also broke out at about 9 a.m. at the CPDM party house in Marwa too. The Army Rescue Unit in Marwa is currently investigating the cause of the fire incidents. Dorcas Ekambi Ikupe completes the story from CRTV Far North in Marwa.
This is what is left of this apartment after the devastating fire incident. More disturbing is the fact that 3 teenagers aged 19, 16 and 15, all from the same family, perished in the fire fatality. The commander of the firefighting group who rushed to the scene used the ill-fated incident to call on residents of the region to be very vigilant so as to avoid fire outbreaks.
Vendredi 13 mars.
At about 3 a.m. Friday morning, the firefighting brigade was solicited because of a fire outbreak that took place at the Kakatari neighborhood. Unfortunately, before we could arrive, the fire had ravished the entire building, leaving 3 persons dead.
It is not clear what might have caused the fire outbreak, but authorities say investigations have been opened. Next by at the CPDM party house in Mara 2, another blaze broke out, but with the early intervention of the firefighting unit, the fire was quickly put out, with no life lost and no major damage recorded. The authorities of the land have used the 2 fire incidents to call on the population to be extra careful during this dry season so as to prevent such situations.
And in politics, the CPDM supporters in Momo division in the Northwest region have vowed to double their efforts and win all the parliamentary seats for Momo East and West constituencies as they go for the rerun of the election in the division. The party followers took the commitment this Saturday in a meeting chaired by the CPDM campaign team leader for Momo, Minister Rose Mba-Acha. Details with Ola Titanki of our Northwest Regional Bureau.
These are CPDM party supporters in Momo division. They are confident and ready to double their efforts as they go to the field to convince electorates to vote for their legislative candidates. During a meeting to better plan on how campaigns will be carried out in the 5 subdivisions that make up Momo, the party following made an evaluation of the February 9 elections so as to identify their loopholes and put in place new strategies strategies for a landslide victory.
And they're ready that CPDM would have a victory, a resounding victory, more resounding than it was when the results were cancelled for a rerun.
The CPDM legislative candidates for Momo go for the election rerun with focus on peace and developmental projects.
What is at stake now is the long-awaiting peace that the entire nation has been looking up to. I will join my voice to ensure that the peace of our fatherland, Cameroon, be installed. Education is paramount.
The roads, that will be our focus. And then we have particularly Nji and Jikwa.
The CPDM party is competing for 2 parliamentary seats in Momo East and 1 in Momo West.
Over in the southwest region, the new mayor of Bangem in Kupe Manenguba division, Ewungwe Christopher Kang, has promised to take advantage of the current rehabilitation of the Melong-Bangem Road to generate socio-economic activities in the municipality. He has equally promised to improve on the livelihood of farmers whose abundant produce rot in the farms due to the lack of good roads. The 55-year-old agriculture engineer and 2 deputies took the engagement as they were installed by the senior divisional officer for Kupe Manenguba, Chakwi Jean-Marie Philippe. Prince Will Aduma traveled to Bangem and filed in this report from CRTV Southwest in Boya.
Bangem welcomed its new mayor in a show of vibrancy, in tradition like in numbers, and yet in roadworks. To the 55-year-old agric-engineer, Ekungwe Christopher Kang, his council will take advantage of the rehabilitation of the Melong-Bangem Road to open up small farm-to-market roads.
For us to be able to exploit that road very well, we also have to do the feeder roads for farmers to be able to transport their produce from their farms to collection centers. Then from collection centers now, they can now be taken to Melong, then eventually Douala. And you heard me mention Nguti. We have a very large market in Nigeria, not far from us.
Alongside his 2 deputies, the career civil servant seeks to dedicate his experience and contacts with organizations to improve on the socio-economic welfare of the populations of the 35 villages before now harmed by the fangs of the crisis.
With the relative calm we are enjoying in Bangem, I want to use the opportunity to ask all my brothers and sisters who are still in the bushes to come out and to come and take part in the development of this municipality.
The displays in this dimension, we are told, have not been seen here for over 3 years.
And on to one of our lead stories. Cameroon today joins the rest of the globe to celebrate the International Day of Mathematics on the theme, Mathematics is Everywhere. This year, mathematicians are calling on individuals to embrace the subject, which they say cuts across all fields of studies and helps facilitate daily dealings, especially when circulations are involved. Yoti Kaleli Songe in the following report tells us what maths is all about.
Equations are all directed towards finding solutions, mathematicians say, be it algebra or some algorithm. The theory is simple, to always think of the brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition and subtraction, BODMAS, before solving. A mathematical rule that applies to other fields.
Mathematics is the foundation of all technological sciences. It cuts across the domain of engineering, computer sciences, business, administration. We equally have industrial research. It is that subject that enables you to think out of the box.
But for the most part, mathematicians spend their time finding X or Y.
As a matter of fact, I would have loved to say yes, but I would say mathematics just simply means solutions. So if you have that natural acumen toward mastering mathematics, I can assure you, you have a variety of solutions that come your way, and all you have to do is choose the best.
Whether in the market, at a construction site, or traveling by air, mathematics is everywhere. So goes the 2020 International Day of Mathematics theme. This year, students in Cameroon are encouraged to embrace maths as a subject that opens their minds and triggers innovative thinking for a better management of the country's economic and social resources, as statistics from the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences show that there are 1,900 in-service maths teachers and 1,200 pre-service maths teachers, owing to the fact that most students do not like the subject.
Bringing more and more students in Cameroon to love the subject mathematics in school has been the purpose of the teachers who turned to use games, practical exercises to make the lessons better understood, a method which some say increases the success rate of students in mathematics both in the GCE O-level and advanced level examinations. Now let's learn more on the techniques mathematics teachers use today in classrooms with their students. Joyce Tata tells us more.
1 + 1 = 2, but when other calculation units add, like subtracting, multiplying or dividing, the case isn't same, especially when searching for X or Y. Now, how do teachers make mathematics lessons interesting?
Take for example, you come into class and you want to start with a topic. You don't just start with your equations and so on. You must give the history. After narration, the next thing, how are we going to work it out? It cannot work out without motivation.
Today, the classrooms completely change during maths lessons to a more practical setting.
When you work in groups, you know, it counts that idea of mathematics is you must solve, you must think, and so now at this level is a level of skills. You see, the students who want to, you know, create a cuboid, they want to create something around them, they want to develop something around them. For example, I'm teaching a class from 5 arts, and you know, generally the tendency is art students have nothing to do about mathematics. So, but with those methods being applied, we have discovered that there is a 40% increase at the level of the percentage pass or the rate.
An approach which relieves lovers of maths like Donatier.
I feel less tense because sometimes I'm even shy or afraid to ask a question from the teacher. But with my mate, I can actually ask that, please help me with this particular problem. At least my mate can help me, and at that point I know my weakness. At that point I know where I'm wrong. If any problem, then move up to the teacher.
As we find mathematicians too everywhere, they say many more methods will be adopted to make the world of calculators, rulers and pencils more exciting.
Our ICT moment takes us today on a discovery of geometrics, a branch of science that deals with the collection of data, analysis and interpretation of data relating to the Earth's surface. This field, experts say, is vital in the society as data collected in the field can help prevent some environmental hazards as well as sensitize the population of where it is best suitable to either build their houses or plant crops. Yoti Kaleli Songe takes us through this ICT moment.
Equations are all directed towards finding solutions, mathematicians say, be it algebra or some algorithm. The theory is simple, to always think of the brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition and subtraction, BODMAS, before solving. A mathematical rule that applies to other fields.
Mathematics is
And we are sorry for that. Those problems there. We shall be coming back to Yoti Kaleli Songe's report. The Central African Economic and Monetary Community, CEMAC, will on March 16, 2020 celebrate the 11th edition of CEMAC Day. The theme for this edition is improving physical infrastructures to promote trade within CEMAC population. Ahead of the 11th edition of CEMAC Day, our reporter Caroline Okia-Noma looks at some of the challenges and stakes of CEMAC member countries.
The CEMAC member states have an array of options beyond domestic resources and foreign aid to support their investments. With their economies being resilient and gaining momentum before the advent of the coronavirus, real output growth have been estimated to have increased to about 3.1% in 2017 and accelerated in 2018 and 2019 to about 4.1%. But the challenges abound, especially for the structural transformations that would create more jobs and reduce poverty by deepening investments in agriculture and developing agricultural value chains to spur modern manufacturing and services. Also needed a massive investment in infrastructure, which is why Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute, at the instructions of President Paul Biya, laid the foundation stone of the Yagua-Bogo Bridge, paving the way for a new economic corridor. Likewise, the inauguration of the 312 kilometers road linking Congolese capital Brazzaville to Yaoundé in Cameroon by President Denis Sassou Nguesso to better connect the economic community. But the African countries do not need to solve all their infrastructure problems before they can sustain inclusive growth. Rather, they should focus on how best to use their scarce infrastructure budgets to achieve the highest economic and social returns. Nonetheless, infrastructure projects are among the most profitable investments any society can make. When productive, they can contribute to and sustain a country's economic growth. CEMAC member countries therefore have to wake up and be more practical and embark on concrete ambitious reforms as they prepare to commemorate the 11th edition of CEMAC Day come March 16, 2020.
And close to 900 pupil lawyers have begun sitting for the 2020 final bar examination. The competitive entrance examination falls in line with Decree number 95, organizing the final bar examination under the supervision of the president of the Cameroon Bar, Charles Chakute Paty. As Sidoni Jomandi tells us in the following report, all measures have been taken by the Ministry of Justice and the Bar Council for the examination to take place hitch-free.
Today marks the first day of the competitive entrance examination of pupil lawyers aspiring to be full-time lawyers into the Bar of Cameroon. They were in total 899 pupil lawyers from the 10 regions of the country who are being evaluated on 4 different fields of the judiciary. Upon our arrival at the examination site, the examination commission composed of a jury and a secretariat were already on duty, preparing questions for the examination.
At the level of the secretariat, our main mission is the material preparation of the exams. Like you saw a while ago, we are the ones who do the photocopying of the questions that is set by the jury.
The president of the Cameroon Bar, Charles Chakute Paty, who personally supervised the kickoff of the entrance examination, remarked that all the candidates were present on this first day of the exam.
The way things are going on, I'm very satisfied because we have been working for some few weeks ago with the ministry so to organize this exam. So far, everything is fine.
The written part of the final bar exams will be followed by the oral part, scheduled for next Monday.
And let's come back on our ICT moment, which takes us today on a discovery of geometrics, a branch of science that deals with the collection of data, analysis and interpretation of data relating to the Earth's surface. This field, experts say, is vital in the society, as data collection on the field can help prevent some environmental hazards, as well as sensitize the population of where it is best suitable to either build their houses or plant crops. Yoti Kaleli Songa once more takes us through this ICT moment.
When there is a fusion of geosciences and ICT, it becomes geomatics, a branch of science that deals with the collection, analysis and interpretation of data relating to the Earth's surface. This with the help of certain tools and images.
We use GPS maps, remote sensing and satellite images.
After collecting data in the field, the geometrician has an ultimate goal.
It can be a map, it can be a website that presents the information that has been treated.
Maps, they say, can be very resourceful, especially those that represent disaster-prone areas.
It can be used to determine the places where we can construct parks. We can determine a zone and say this zone is at risk of landslide. Even for flooding, when it comes to the contamination of the coronavirus, we can map them out and see which zones are more at risk.
Geomatics can help in identifying the best site for the construction of a school, taking in consideration factors like the distance between houses and schools, as well as areas where there are no schools.
Geomatics is therefore said to be one of those sciences used daily to sustainably develop every society, even more in this ICT age.
The new law on bilingualism promulgated by the Musonga Commission is welcome in public administrations, where they say they have been using both official languages at work. The Inspector for Pedagogy for the Promotion of Bilingualism at the Ministry of Basic Education, Julius Numi, says every Wednesday at the ministry, Francophones speak English and vice versa. Cynthia Etim tells us more.
Delivering quality services to users in both official languages is priority to officials of the Ministry of Basic Education. This is why every Wednesday was instituted as Bilingualism Day here.
This practice has been going on since 2005. Every Wednesday, consciously, those who are English-speaking make an effort to deliver services in French and vice versa.
In order to help personnel constantly improve their use of both official languages, some measures were taken by the ministry.
Every year we're sending personnel in the Pilot Linguistics Center owned by the state, so there has been very little complaints about people not being served in the language of their choice.
The move has been positively appraised.
Everybody is conscious that to be a good worker, you should try and exchange in both languages.
Over at the Ministry of Finance, there is no special day set aside for the exclusive use of either French or English. Every working day of the week is Bilingualism Day.
In our ministry, bilingualism is current. So we don't consecrate a day to speak only English.
Even as some administrations in the nation's capital are promoting bilingualism, users, however, observe that there are still some lagging behind.
CONDRETE, The Vote, and A Nightmare are three new books that book lovers can now read and put in their libraries. The book, co-authored by Philippe Ferdinand Bala and Florence Molo, were launched recently in Yaoundé with dignitaries like Clément Atangana in attendance. Joyce Tata gives us an insight of what to uncover within the pages of these books.
Few words but heavy from a key figure which officially ushers three new books to the literary world in Cameroon: CONDRETE, The Vote, and A Nightmare.
The drama, Le Scrutin, is focused on the education. What they've endeavored, the people involved into the process must be trained.
CONDRETE is advocating the breaking of the glass ceiling, that there is no limit to anybody whosoever because of their gender. In regards to the vote, actually, it deals with a commonplace subject. People need education. To construct a democratic society, people should not vote or do things out of ignorance. They should be aware. They should make conscious choices.
For a better understanding of the author's literary piece, a little sketch was presented to the audience to portray the ignorance of persons in the world of politics, where the voting exercise is primordial.
We are trying to revive the reading culture because we've come to realize that all what we are, our culture, our identity, is found in books.
These books are now available in libraries with an affordable price, a vision of the author Professor Ferdinand Bala to take the reading culture to the doorsteps of Cameroonians.
The Director General of the Cameroon Radio Television has described CRTV production as the heart of the corporation, urging its staff to spare no effort to churn out quality production. Mr. Shandongo was speaking to staff of the 3-year-old entity charged with producing good content for CRTV's radio, TV, and web platforms. Friday night during the CRTV's Production Pioneer annual get-together, Moiti Uwaifo Akonjang has the highlight of the evening.
It is not every day that one gets to see CRTV's top brass give a live music performance. It was a night when the staff let down their guard and took up the microphone, but within a different capacity. Hidden talents came to the fore. Speaking on behalf of CRTV production staff, its director delegate, Tewi Lambiv, acknowledged management for its vision for top-notch radio, TV and web content, hence the creation of CRTV production in June 2017.
It is not the number of people who matter, what they can do. And for the few months I've been with this group, I think they have the ability to deliver.
CRTV's Director General Shaun Dongo applauded the 3-year-old team made up of producers, journalists, technical and administrative staff, urging them to forge ahead and describing CRTV Prod as the heart of the Cameroon radio television. CRTV production, with its 3 sub-departments, radio, TV and web, produces stock programs for the 3 platforms.
And on to sports, Cameroon's under-17 Lionesses have crushed their counterparts of Sao Tome and Principe 6-0 during their return leg match of the 2020 FIFA World Cup slated for India. The game took place this afternoon at the Yaoundé Military Stadium, with striker Brenda Tabe netting a brace. Details with Romeo Kenny.
Indeed, it was a goal festival at the Yaoundé Military Stadium Saturday, as Cameroon's under-17 Lionesses welcomed Sao Tome and Principe in a World Cup qualification reverse fixture. During the one-sided confrontation, Captain Elise Mbela and co stopped at nothing, piling pressure on visiting Sao Tomians at first half, netting 3 goals before recess. During the second stanza, Brenda Tabe and mate maintained the same velocity and momentum, unleashing several strikes, increasing tally to 6. With this overwhelming victory against Sao Tome, the Baby Lionesses have now earned a 10-0 triumph over the same antagonist in a back-to-back clash. Coach Stefan Zanangono and girls will either face Tanzania or Uganda in their last round qualification campaign.
And kudos to our Lionesses. And that's where we draw the curtains on the 7:30 news. Thanks for watching. Join Atabadine Umar at 8:30 for Le 20h30. I'll be glad to be in your company tomorrow, same time. Until then, it's bye from all of us on the 7:30 crew. Good night.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.